Hello, hello, and I am finally here, my friends. I'm finally back. I know you've all been missing my voice on Lions of Liberty, but rumors of my demise were quite. What's the quote? Rumors about demise were something. Anyway, there is an actual quote there. I think it's a Mark Twain, something like that. Anyway, I'm not a scholar. I'm just a guy who sits in front of a microphone and has talked to you and talked to other people for the last 9 years, that being through the filter of politics, through the filter of libertarian politics and libertarian philosophy. And no, look, I've already done all the episodes about why I'm no longer doing that particular path. You can still go back and listen to Lions of Liberty number 599 if somehow you are behind on the times and don't really know what's going on. So I'm not going to repeat everything. The fact is, yes, I have parted ways quite amicably from Lions of Liberty to start my own project here with the Marc Clair Show, where we're going to go beyond politics. We're going to go deeper. We're going to go past politics and look at really, well, look, I'm going to be doing an episode 0. Supporters of the show are going to get it before anybody else. That's where I'm really going to break down everything that the show is about. So for now, you're just going to get the teaser. But let's just say we're going to get into some different and interesting categories that go far beyond typical politics and the things you've been hearing from me over the last 9 years through Lions of Liberty. In the meantime, I do encourage you all, if you're not subscribed to that Lions of Liberty network feed or to John or Brian individually, make sure you go follow what they're doing. I know I'm not even privy to all their plans because we're no longer business partners, but I do know they have some interesting plans coming up, and they've kind of gotten a little bit of a fire lit under their ass and are trying some new things too here. So I think this is going to be a great thing for everybody. So please do follow Brian and John. We are all still very good friends and support each other here in what we're doing. Speaking of support, the reason I'm doing this update, is to let you know what's been going on. It's been kind of a few weeks of relative silence, unless you're a Twitter follower of mine, and then there's very little silence. But I've been putting out some teases, some graphics, some links that some people found here and there. A few of you crafty little bastards even got into my Patreon before I even started sharing the link around. So there are ways you can already support the show. But before that, I want to let you know kind of when things are going to happen, give you a little bit of a timeline for those of you that have been following me and that have subscribed here to what was formerly the Lions of Liberty with Marc Clair feed. Now it is the Marc Clair Show feed. This should be what you find the show under on all platforms. And I'm going to be on a lot of platforms. I decided to, I don't know if spread myself thin is the term, but spread a relatively wide net. I mean, there was a part of me that wanted to be like, I'm just going to go on this platform and that's my platform. But, look, I think it's kind of the same with putting all your eggs in one skill basket or one job basket. Until I have my own platform that I control, which is a goal of mine. It's actually something I started to work on a little bit. But if I waited to launch until I had the perfect platform and my own thing launched, I wouldn't launch for a while. And I don't want to not launch for a while. I have too much going on in my brain, too much that I'm excited about sharing with you guys, and too many people that are reaching out to me excited about the show. So just like I tell many of my podcasting clients, sometimes you just got to kind of get started with what you got. So I don't have my own platform that I control everything by, but instead I have some options for you guys, both public and private platform wise. I did even debate like not even being on YouTube. Look, it's no secret that YouTube censors a lot of things, strikes people for things, but it's also no secret that YouTube is just huge in terms of sort of serving as a search engine and people finding the show. And I do want to find more people out there. So I've decided I am going to have the show on YouTube for now. I'm not going to go out of my way to get strikes or to say things on the naughty list, but I'm not going to go out of my way to not. I'm just going to do my show, put it there, and we'll see what happens. But in the meantime, it would be great if I could get a real YouTube channel, monetize it while I can, and grow that. So if you whether or not you subscribe or view the show on YouTube or ever want to go to YouTube, it would really help me if you would just go hit that subscribe button on the Marc Clair Show YouTube channel and then just never look at it again. I don't even care if you don't want to use that platform, but getting to a 1,000 subscriber mark, getting that 1,000 subscriber mark will really help me do more things with that channel. Of course, I am mirroring my YouTube channel over on Odyssey as well. So if you prefer, and I encourage you to do so, I love my friends over at Odyssey. So do check them out. Big thanks to Drew Hancock for help getting me set up over there, even before I have even content up yet. So big thanks to Drew for that. Big thanks to Jeremy Kaufman as well for creating LBRY/library. amazing site. So I'm really happy to have my stuff over there as well. And then I will also be on Rockfin as a creator on Rockfin. Now, for many of you that don't know, Rockfin works in a sort of interesting way. Now, there's public content on Rockfin. By the way, if you don't know Rockfin's awesome and has some of the best creators out there. I'm not saying that because I'm on there. I'm saying that because I love a lot of the creators that have found a home at Rockfin. Some guys I listen to over there and watch over there. Sam Tripoli, Jay Dyer. A lot of people have their platforms on have their stuff on different places, but all those Rockfin people, their content goes first to Rockfin. So Rockfin is really unique in the sense that you can support a creator and it's $10 a month. It doesn't matter who you support or how many you want to follow and get their content from. It's just $10 a month straight up. So that's awesome because I'll tell you about my support levels in a minute. But if you even follow one other person on Rockfin, it is actually probably really worth it to, instead of subscribing on one of my platforms, which would benefit me more financially directly in the short term. But I do want to build up, drive more people to Rockfin as well and build up my platform there. So at the end of the day, I'm going to give you guys all the options for how you can view the show, how you can support the show. And by support, I don't just mean money. I'm going to talk about a lot of ways you guys can help support the show. If you're excited about the launch, if you've been following me and you want to help me really launch big, I'll let you know how you can do that. So, and a lot of that doesn't involve money. It might just involve a little bit of your time or sharing some things on social media. So there are a lot of ways that people that are interested in where I'm going to go with things can help support me and help support the show. I will say one of my goals now, as most of you know, is that I just moved my family through quite a journey from Los Angeles through 9 months in Mexico. Now we are here in the free state of Florida, and I did survive the hurricane. By the way, it actually barely grazed us. It was basically 36 hours of a light rain for us, I will say. But obviously, many of you have seen video by now. Prayers out to a lot of people that are just south of me. We're a little too far in from the coast that we probably wouldn't have that kind of damage, that kind of flooding that a lot of people there had. A little further south in Fort Myers, in particular, was basically underwater. So we were lucky that the hurricane, actually the eye of it, the strongest part, came in about an hour south of us by car. Anyway, it was originally supposed to come in basically right on top of us, so we were spared the worst of that. And luckily, I think we're far enough inland. We're technically in a possible evacuation zone. We live in evacuation zone E, and they evacuated A and B. So it's not unheard of that something could happen where we would evacuate our area, but we're basically the last in line. Like A through D, you got to be underwater before we go. So we were prepared, but I didn't intend to do a whole show about hurricane preparation or anything. But I was a little nervous just because I'd never been in a hurricane before. Like really, I mean, I grew up in the Northeast. I'm sure we had hurricanes, but there were different hurricanes. It was not like what was just over this state and is still sort of winding its way down over us right now. But at the end, it was really just like 36 hours of kind of light rain. I hate to say, I mean, we have so many thunderstorms here, and it felt, honestly, it was more sustained, but didn't feel nearly as intimidating as a lot of the big thunderstorms that roll in with lightning and thunder and pounding and this and that. So I don't know, but we had plenty of water, we had plenty of food, and that's kind of, at some point, that's kind of the most you can do, is batten down the hatches and let this thing ride out. So not much to report there, but did give me some time because a lot of my on-site work, that was all closed. So it gave me some time to wrap up some things for the show, finish well, there's never any final touches. These things are always a work in podcast. I should coin that one. It's a work in podcast because it is always a work in progress. A podcast is always a work in progress. And so yeah, but one of my goals here, I do have several jobs that I still do in the TV industry. I have a few part-time jobs, and so I'm out of the house a lot right now, quite a bit, just trying to pay the bills and sort of build myself back up after pretty much not working for 9 months, except for my other stuff, my working with podcast clients. I have several different clients I work with. I also do private consultations. I'll tie that in again in a bit because that does tie into some of my support levels for the podcast as well. But my goal is eventually to, pull myself more out of this work and pull myself more into this office, into the studio that I'm still sort of in the process of setting up here. So that is the goal. And I'm not going to beat around the bush with this stuff. Yes, I ask for your support if you end up enjoying the show, if you want to see it grow, because I'm going to put money back into that show. And obviously, the first things to do are pay for the bills, pay for my podcast hosting, pay for my StreamYard. So I do have a lot to cover before I'm even breaking even here. Yeah, I'm not going to say I'm always going to put this money back into the show. That's my pledge to you. It's not my pledge to you. My pledge to you is that if you support me and you want to see more from me and more content from me, and you enjoyed my interviews and my interview style, and you want to see me apply that to other areas, then I am going to tell you, yeah, my goal is to do more of that. And so eventually, yeah, my goal is to be able to make this into more of an actual income, because the more I can get out of this personally, I can support myself and support my family, the more I can actually do this, the more I can be in here instead of being out there, instead of working for the men, the various men, or what have you. And luckily, I like what I do. I enjoy every job I show up at. I don't take jobs I generally don't like, so I'm not bitter and miserable leaving the house. It's actually quite a nice change of pace after pretty much not leaving the house for like 9 months. Well, not because of COVID, just because we were in Mexico and it was hot as shit, and we didn't really have much to do. That was the deal there. But no, I mean, now it's really, I enjoy doing my work, but when I'm out there, I know that I'm taking away from doing this stuff. Oh, I just had something that I put up fall. See, I told you it's a work in progress, the studio. So my window's no longer covered, but I'm gonna roll with it because we're live, pal. At least I'm live. I'm recording it live. I think I'm streaming for well, the patrons may have the link. Anyway, I do already have patrons because some of you sneaky bastards actually found my Patreon, which I hadn't even really advertised yet, got in there and started supporting me. So it kind of kicked me in the ass to say, well, I got to put some content up for people here. So I did already share the show intro that you just saw on the video or heard if you're listening to the podcast version. My early patrons got to hear that and see that first, because I've been putting a lot really into the style and the look of this show. And then I will start recording interviews. Actually, next week, I'm going to start doing interviews. I have a couple interviews scheduled next week. Then I have to go take care of some family stuff up in Connecticut. And then towards the second half of October, I'm going to be recording more interviews. So when does the show actually start is the question. And I guess it all depends on who you are. But when I looked at the calendar and I looked at my subject matter and I looked at what I plan to do with the show, too many signs just told me, look, I want to keep it on Mondays because I've been podcasting on Mondays forever. It's Marc Clair Mondays, baby. So we're still going to be on Mondays. And just looking at the calendar and seeing kind of what time I needed to get things together, it just made sense. All Hallows Eve, Monday, October 31st, you will see the debut of the Marc Clair Show. That will be the public debut of the show anyway. However, patrons, I say patrons, but I'm on Patreon, patreon.com/the I don't even know if you just go to Patreon and search it, see, I'm really prepared for this. I believe it's patreon.com/Marc Clair Show, but it could be the Marc Clair Show. It's a good question. We'll find this out live, my friends. Marc Clair Show. Let's see, patreon.com/ this is the kind of things you got to get together when you're a professional podcaster. But I'm not technically professional yet, right? I'm semi-professional. When I don't go outside this house at all because you support me so much, then I will be professional. Yes, it's patreon.com/Marc Clair Show. There's no the. And then I'm also on Subscribestar as well. I know some of you are not Patreon fans, so we do the Subscribestar option for you. I've been on Subscribestar a little bit. I seemingly like it. That's all I really know. It seems to function more or less similarly to Patreon. So you also have the option of heading over to Subscribestar. Here we go. I was trying to look up all these links, and then I remembered I already did this for you guys. I already set it all up. So what I want you to do, if you want to support the show, you want to follow everything I'm doing. By the way, if you've missed my voice, you could hear my voice every week if you want. I need a drink. By simply heading over to secondprintcomics.com or finding the Second Print Comics podcast. I do a weekly comic book podcast with my friend Remzo Martinez, and we have a blast, and I think you'll enjoy it too. Even if you think you don't enjoy comics, you enjoy listening to me. You've made it 15 minutes into this video where I haven't really said anything yet, so check it out. I think you might enjoy it. But yeah, the easiest thing to do to find all the places to follow me and follow the show, just go to marcclair.com. Now you'll find that's not a real website. No, but it is a redirect to my link tree, which will show you every single platform, quite literally every platform that you can subscribe to the podcast on. It'll link you to my platform on Rockfin. More about Rockfin and on Patreon and Subscribestar. So I only have 3 support levels. Excuse me. 3 support levels total, no matter what platform I'm on, except Rockfin, which is a special case. Patreon, Subscribestar, I have an $8 basic support level. There is a reason for that, several reasons for that. One, like I told you, I'm not beating around the bush. I'm trying to make something out of this. So yeah, I'm putting the entry fee a little bit higher. And I would also say, like, if $8, if you sweat $8 a month more than you would say sweating $5 a month, and that you're on the fence of whether to support me because of that, no hard feelings. I don't want your money. I don't want your money. If you are sweating $5 to $8, I just don't want your money. If that's even something you have to think about. So that's why it's $8, partially because I want to take in more money, because there are fees associated. There's been a lot of inflation, I'm sure you guys know, and I have a lot of costs for the show. So I've done the math, and I kind of know what I need to take in. So that's why I set it there. And like I said, if you can't swing $8 or $8 is stressing you, don't sweat it. You're getting a free show. Like, this is going to be a free show that anybody can have without sending me money. So no hard feelings. There's so many ways you can support the show. Just by listening to this, just by watching this, you're supporting me. You're supporting the show. So no hard feelings there. I do have 3 pledge levels everywhere. And a lot of this is going to be depending on what you're trying to do in life, because like I said, I work with several private clients in the podcast realm. I do a number of different things for them, and I also do private consultations. So at various different support levels, at the $8 level, you basically just get the content, you get to be in the groups and everything. At the $33 level, you get the same stuff. You're going to be invited to what I'm calling the smoke-filled room happy hours. That's kind of a more private, sort of a private chill events that I'm going to do with that level of listener. And then you also get discounts on all my services. So if you use my services for anything, or you want my consulting services, being at that level will get you discounts on that going forward as well. And then lastly, the $77 level, $77. Holy shit. What is this guy thinking? Well, hey, again, I'm not thinking anything. I'm not begging anybody. I'm just putting these options out there because I actually think it is tremendous value. Because at that level, you'll get everything you get in the previous 2 levels. But you'll also get one of two things you can cash in with me each month. You can either get a mention of your website, your product, your Twitter handle, whatever you want. I'll mention you on the show every single week. I will mention that. Or alternatively, and you can mix and match these if you like. You can do the mention one month and then the next month switch it over, or you can do a consultation with me if you're looking to start a podcast or grow a podcast, or just grow your side income and side gigs and that sort of thing. That's the kind of stuff that I've been able to do for myself over the last 2 or 3 years. Yes, I still got to leave the house because I got a lot of bills, but that income for me, just looking at side income, is about 33%. It's about a third of my income right now. So it's already about a third of the time that I can stay here more and venture out less. So I'm trying to build that up even more and more. And the more I can do that through the podcast, look, I can work with other clients. I can get a lot more other clients in the podcasting realm and work on their shows for them more. But I'd rather keep the clients I have. I love all my clients, if any of you are listening. But I'd actually prefer not to have too many more long-term clients on that end and just grow the show more. Meanwhile, help some of you guys along the way grow your own projects and promote your own products. So hopefully, for anybody that is in that kind of realm, starting your own things, advertising your own services, there's a lot of value there for you, especially getting in at this level before I have much higher downloads. I could charge much higher advertising rates and that sort of thing. I will say, this is not a promise. I'm not making any promises right here. But one thing I really do want to avoid doing on this show, if I can help it, and of course I can help it, I'm in charge. I would really like to avoid, I'm not going to say I'm never going to do advertising. I will say that patrons will not hear ads. So if you support the show, you're not going to hear the ads if I ever do have ads. But I would really like to avoid doing insert ads. And by that, I mean ads you don't control, ads that just come from an advertising company or a podcast promoter, and they just appear on your show. I've had it happen on shows of mine. I know it's happened on shows of others. An ad kind of is put in there that you don't really agree with philosophically, but you're in this tough place. And I just don't want to even put myself in that tough place. I want to avoid it altogether. So my plan is to never do ads like that. Again, it's not a promise, but the more support I have outside of that, the less I guess I'll be tempted by that. But no, I really, truly do not want to do that. That doesn't mean I won't have ads on the show, but I want to make sure any ads I run on the show itself are ads of people I know personally or products I use personally. All right. I don't want to just take money to promote something I don't know anything about. That might mean somebody who wants me to promote their product will send me that product and I'll check it out. And if I like it, I'll consider promoting it. But I don't just want to advertise random things that I don't really know the other person on the other end, and or ads that are just coming in from some some corporate fucking algorithm. I don't want to do that. So that's why I am pushing the support as much as possible. That's why I am pushing all the ways you can support the show as I grow it from scratch here. So I don't have to do that stuff, or so that I can be more independent. Obviously, the ultimate independence is going to come from hosting my own site, and having control of everything myself, having control of the money. I'm not exactly in the place where I don't need to rely on platforms yet, as I said earlier. So that's why I have the platform options. Again, Patreon, Subscribe Star. Again, and I think I mentioned you can go to Marc Clair. I didn't take notes or outline this. I'm just winging it. You go to marcclair.com. Again, that's my link tree. That'll show you every way that you can subscribe to the show. It'll show you, it'll link you to my Rockfin. Let me circle back to Rockfin for a second. Of course, Patreon, Subscribe Star, but let me circle back to Rockfin. Now, the cool thing about Rockfin, you subscribe to me or anybody else, $10 a month, and you get all the premium content. So if you're thinking about subscribing to me for $8 a month, but there's other people you like on Rockfin, it might behoove you to just subscribe to me on Rockfin, because you will get all the same content. And you will get live streams. Any live streams I do are probably going to be exclusive first to Rockfin. And then later I'll put them up for patrons on Patreon, Subscribe Star, or whatever. So there are advantages to being on Rockfin, because I do plan to go live and do live streams occasionally, specifically to Rockfin. Of course, the content will eventually be out for everybody, but that's where you'll be able to get it live. And it doesn't matter like how you, like, for the way Rockfin works, everyone kind of gets compensated based on their performance. So if you join through me, that does help me. So if you're thinking about doing Rockfin, but you don't know which creator, but you want to help me, because I'm just starting off there. So I could use you to sign up through me, and I'll get sort of the credit, so to speak, for you joining Rockfin. But what's great is, if you were thinking about supporting Marc Clair for $8, well, for $2 more, you get all the content on the entire platform from everybody. Sam Tripoli, Jay Dyer, Monica Perez is on there. All sorts of bonus content over there, premium content. You get all of it for $10. So I definitely encourage anybody who likes the content on Rockfin to choose that option. Now, of course, that's just the content. If you choose Rockfin, then you can't do those higher levels. You can't do the 33, the 70, 77 if you want to, work those deals with me or what have you. I will say there's one more option I'm open to. I'm also on BitChute. I don't know how BitChute works, but I'm on there. And I think there's ways to like tip or something like that through BitChute, or I don't really know. I don't know how it works yet, but I'm on there and I plan to put the show there as well. So there's that for the BitChute fans out there. Also, so yes, Rockfin, check. That's an option if you like the content there, because I will get compensated even if you don't join through me, but you view my content. I'll get credited, and that will be calculated into my compensation from Rockfin. What else? So let's get back to how you can support and how you can share this show, help me grow this show, and help me launch this thing. You can join my launch team. That's not an official thing. I'm not even going to ask for your email. I'm going to do everything. And this is going to be the channel for the show, the public channel for the show. I want you to come join the Telegram group. I just started a Telegram group. Now I'm going to be using Discord, I believe. We'll see. But I'm planning to use Discord through Subscribe Star and Patreon for the smoky room. Man, smoke-filled room. Look, I'm new. It's a new show. I haven't even started it yet, for the smoke-filled room happy hours that we're going to be having with patrons and Subscribe Stars at certain levels, at the $33 a month level. So those exclusive chats are going to take place on Discord. But for the public, for everybody, I do have a Telegram channel, and you can find that, again, marcclair.com. Just scroll down, scroll past everything, and you'll see the podcast, you'll see Rockfin, you'll see Patreon, yada, yada, and then you'll see Telegram. Just click that link, and you can come in and join the Telegram channel. And that's where I will be sort of organizing and giving updates on the launch of the show, and telling you guys when you can go share things, and sending you links and things like that. So I could really use help there on just people on the ground, so to speak, helping me share the show, helping me hype up the show, helping me spread the word of the Marc Clair Show. And, I'd love to tell you more about the show itself, but I got to kind of leave a tease, and I still have an episode 0 that's going to come out, where I really do break down everything I want to do with the show, And who's going to hear that first? My supporters on Patreon, Subscribestar, Rockfin. One more thing I will just toss out there. I will consider this. I will continue. Excuse me. I will consider cryptocurrency subscriptions on an annual basis, but that's just going to have to be done mano a mano. So join the Telegram and find me and talk to me on Telegram, or email markclairshow@gmail.com, and we could maybe make that arrangement. I'm considering doing that, but it's going to be one-on-one basis, and I'll get you the content. I'll get you everything you need in that case. Other than that, that's really all I got, my friends. I just want y'all to hear my voice, see my face, and find out exactly what I've been thinking, what I got going on here. And things are happening. Things are moving. I have not gone away. You'll be hearing from me very, very soon. And if you're a patron, supporter, Subscribestar, if you're on Rockfin, you're going to be hearing from me much sooner than the rest. In the next couple of weeks, you'll start getting episodes of the Marc Clair Show. So until then, no, I'm not going to say it. That catphrase is over. But no, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.